Hey kids, good morning. Hope you all are safe and good. Now let's move on to our next session in English. The topic will be the 3 questions. Now we are going to see the session 2. So in the last session we stopped with the man running inside and we are yet to see the man, right? So in this session we will see about that. Now I am going to read the passage. You should read along with me and then I will explain it. Shall we move on? The king turned round and saw a bearded man come running out of the wood. The man held his hands pressed against his stomach and blood was flowing from under them. When he reached the king, he fell fainting on the ground, moaning feebly. So the king turned back and saw a bearded man. He is coming, running from the wood. He was having his hand in his stomach where the blood was flowing. And when he came near the king, he fainted and he fell down into the ground, moaning feebly. Feebly means very weakly. The king and the hermit unfastened the man's clothing. There was a large wound in his stomach. The king washed it as best as he could and bandaged it with his handkerchief and with the towel the hermit had. So what they did? They unfastened the clothes. It means they removed and saw a big wound in his stomach. The king washed the wounds and he bandaged it with the kerchief and with the towel which the hermit had. But the blood would not stop flowing. And the king again and again removed the bandage soaked with warm blood and washed and rebandaged the wound. When at last the blood ceased flowing, the man revived and asked for something to drink. So what did they do? The blood did not stop flowing. So again and again the king removed the bandage and he washed it and again he bandaged it. So at the last when the blood stopped flowing, the man asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. Meanwhile, the sun had set and it had become cool. So the king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. So the king gave him fresh water and the sun had set and it has become cool now. So with the help of the hermit, he carried the man to the bed and laid him over it. Lying on the bed, the man closed his eyes and was quiet. But the king was so tired from his walk and from the work he had done that he crouched down on the threshold and also fell asleep so soundly that he slept all through the short summer night. So this man, he didn't have any sleep, so he was lying on the bed simply. But the king did so many works, right? He digged the land and he came walking through, so he fell asleep. When he awoke in the morning, it was long before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed and gazing intently at him with shining eyes. So when the king woke up in the morning, he couldn't even realize where he was and who was the man looking very strongly at him with his shining eyes. He couldn't remember anything. So he did it. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice when he saw that the king was awake and was looking at him. So what did the man say? "Forgive me," he said to the king. When he saw the king was awake, he said, "Forgive me. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. So what did the king reply? "I don't know who you are even, and I have nothing to forgive you for." This was the king's reply for him. "You do not know me, but I know you. I am the enemy of yours who swore to revenge himself on you, because you executed his brother and seized his property. I know you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I resolved to kill you on your way back." So what is said? You don't know me, but I know you. I was planning to kill you. I know you were alone because you killed my brother and seized my property. But the day passed and you did not return. So I come out from the ambush to find you and came upon your bodyguard, and they recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from them, but should have bled to death. Have you not dressed my wound? So, but after the day even you did not return. So I came out of my ambush. Ambush means it was the surprise place for attacking. And I was recognized by your bodyguard, and they wounded me. I escaped from death, but I was bleeding heavily, so I may even die. But you dressed my wound, and you saved my life, he said to the king. I wish to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, and if you wish it, I will serve you as your most faithful slave, and will bid my sons do the same. Forgive me. So what is that? I wish to kill you, but you saved my life. Now I want to serve you, and only if you wish to do that. I will serve you as the most faithful slave, and I will even allow my sons to do it. The king was very glad to have made peace with his enemy so easily, and to have gained him for a friend. And he not only forgave him, but he said he would send his servants and his own physician to attend him, and he promised to restore his property. So the king was very happy that he had made the enemy as a friend. He forgave him, and he sent his servants and physician to attend him, and he also promised to give his property. Having taken leave of the wounded man, the king went into the porch and looked around for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to beg an answer to the questions he had put. So he took leave from the wounded man, and he went looking for the hermit. But before leaving, he wished to ask once again the answer for the questions, for the 3 questions which he had put earlier. The hermit was outside on his knees sowing seeds in the bed that had been dug the day before. The hermit was outside. He was sowing seeds in the bed the previous day, which was dug. The king approached him and said, "For the last time, I pray you to answer my questions, wise man." So what did the king do? He went to the hermit and asked for the last time to answer all the 3 questions of him. "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still crouching on his thin legs and looking up at the king who stood before him. What did the hermit say? "You got the answers already for the questions you have." He looked at the king who stood before him, and he replied in the manner, "You have already been answered." It means that you have got the answers already. "How answered? What do you mean?" asked the king. "Do you not see?" replied the hermit. "So how it will be? I didn't get the answer," the king replied. But the hermit said, "Do you not see? You got the answer. If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday, and had not dug these beds for me, but had gone your way, the man would have attacked you, and you would have repented of not having stayed with me." So what did he say? If you have not pitied my weakness yesterday, நேத்து என்னை பார்த்து பாவப்படலைன்னா, and if you did not help me in digging these beds, you would have gone, and that man would have attacked you, and you definitely fell for not staying with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the bed, and I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business. So the first question, the important time was digging the bed. The next one, the most important person was the hermit, and the last one was the most important business was doing the hermit some good things. So these are the 3 questions, and it got answered. This was the hermit's reply. Afterwards, when that man ran to us, the most important time was when you were attending to him. For you, if you have not bound up with his wound, he would have died without having made peace with you. So next, when the man came running, the most important time was attending him. He answered him, right, the king. So that was the most important time. And if he didn't attend him, he would have died without making peace. So he was the most important man, and what you did him for the was your most important business. Remember, then there is only one time that is important. Now it is the most important time because it is the only time when we have any power. So the most important man, and what you did for him was the most important business. We should remember that the most important time is only now, இப்போதான். Okay, the most necessary person is the one with whom you are, for no man knows whether he will ever have dealings with anyone else, and the most important affair is to do that person good, because for that purpose alone was man sent into his life. So the most necessary person is whom we are, and we have to deal with anyone else, and the most important affair is doing good to that person, and because of that only we have been sent into life. Now the glossaries of the session: mourning, sob, cry, unfasten, undo, disconnect, untie, disjoin, revived, restore to life or consciousness, crouched, bent, stopped, threshold, doorstep, entrance, seized, snatched, grabbed, held off suddenly and forcibly, ambush, surprise attack, trap, entrap, pounce on. Your assignment will be read the glossaries and write it 2 times and submit it to me as soon as possible. I will meet you in the next session. Thank you. Bye.